This is Will Nunziata, New York City-based director and creator of theater, television, and film. And today I am thrilled to be speaking with the acclaimed actor, singer, dancer, choreographer, she does it all, Miss EMILY Jeanne Phillips. But before we get to our interview, here is a sneak peek at EMILY's incredible talent. EMILY, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. And it is so great to finally meet you. And I am so excited the audience got a little sneak peek of your incredible talent. EMILY, I want to know first and foremost, where were you born and when did you realize that you wanted to be a part of it, New York, New York?
So I was born in Edison, New Jersey, so not far. I saw my first Broadway show when I was 4. It was Bernadette Peters and Annie Get Your Gun. And the vivid memory I have is she held that note in Annie, no, you can hold, I can hold longer. And she exit and she came back on. And I was like, I want to do that. Also, my first tap class ever, I was 2, and I dragged my dad, and he explains it as, I said, Dad, I want dance. And I walked right into the tap class, and then he was like, there's all my money. All my money's going to the dance studio.
I love it. So between 2-year-old tapping EMILY to having Bernadette Peters walk off stage left and outdo Tom Wopat in anything you can
Yes.
by holding out a note. I mean, why aren't we best friends already, EMILY? Because that's kind of like my life, but 12 years before you. But we won't talk about my age. Anyway, back to you. I want to know, so obviously, I'm always so interested in the careers of individuals like yourselves who are so multi-talented in so many different areas. When you go from wanting to not only be an actor and a singer and a dancer, to then also want to go to the other side, and in your case as a choreographer, did you always love choreography? Was it something that as a choreographer you always felt was in you and that you would just maybe one day step into it?
Yeah, I have a lot of creative ideas, almost all the way around. So I love being on stage and being the performer, but I also love choreographing. I've done a lot of choreography for film, just my own like dances, and so I choreograph with how the camera would go, almost like Maisel. I feel like Maisel's a really good TV show where the camera work is choreographed.
I
That
agree.
really inspires me. I've also taught at a lot of dance studios, and I didn't want to just give them traditional tap dance studio dances. I wanted to, bring acting into it and bring a story into it. I feel like that elevates the performance. And now I'm teaching at Wagner College with college kids, and we had the incredible opportunity. It actually opens tomorrow. We choreographed their dance concert. So I have a 12-minute tap piece for the college kids, and the theme of the show is kind of about COVID and how we're coming back to theater. And so it was kind of inspiring to be able to create post pandemic. But yeah, I've always been really creative. I've always wanted to be on stage, but I also have learned so much from all the choreographers that I worked with that really inspire me to create my own stuff. It's a really good outlet to be able to like watch your work come to life on other dancers as well.
I mean, absolutely. And I mean, you've gotten to work with some of the best in our business, let alone Tony Award winner Andy Blankenbuehler in his acclaimed revival of his remounting of Cats. Talk to me a little bit what that experience was like for you.
Well, the first memory of that honestly was the audition process. Andy is the best person to audition for, and I think it's because he was a dancer. So he knows what it's like to grind and really, sometimes not get seen or not get in or not get notes. In dance calls, you don't ever get adjustments, really. And so we had a week of what they called like boot camp, and each cat, so I went in with the intention from the beginning to play Jenny Anydots. That's all. I just wanted to play her, so I went in with that intention, just so that that was on their radar from the beginning. And then in dance camp, we actually, each cat learned their solo, so I learned the
Wow.
whole solo, which is so cool and so fun. And Jenny's number actually is a lot of improv, which is cool. So each Jenny is different, and they can
Yeah,
do however they want to do it. So that was really fun. And then we all performed one at a time for each other, like all the cat, like the energy in the room. I don't know. He just really brings out like the most creative juices in you. And he also too, the first thing that he said at dance camp, he said, all of you could be cast. Everybody could be cast, but it's a tour, so we have to sort of, who's going to cover and who's going to do these things. So it's a game of that. It has nothing to do with your talent, which is, you don't ever hear that,
I know.
because it's so easy to be like, oh, I was really bad, that's why I didn't get cast. And at that point, it's not really about that. It's about, do you fit? And then working with him, he came out on the road a bunch of times. He's just so detail oriented and intention focused, and he was really trying to have us not overdo the catness, but to really just like, how cats like use their back and their ears and they don't really move. It was just a whole new way of like learning how to perform, which is it was an honor to work with him.
Well, I love that revival. And as a director looking at it, what I actually love so much about it, and I don't know, well, you maybe get the way my language is, but I love the fact that it wasn't as literal as maybe the previous production, which is so beautiful. God bless. It was Jillian, right, who
Yeah.
mounted that original. But what I love so much, it's almost like Andy leaned into the poetry of it. Like
Yes.
the fact that it obviously comes from a poem, but the poetry of the essence of that he allowed each of the actors to almost lend a little bit of themselves to each cat.
Yeah. I agree.
I love it. Emily, I could speak with you forever. Well, before I ask my final few questions, I want to let everyone know for more on the incredible Emily in everything she has going on, in everything that she's done. You could read more about her right below this video. Emily, obviously, this has been a tough time for all humans, especially artists, but you have some exciting news personally.
Are you talking about?
Yeah,
Yes. I got engaged in July, actually on my birthday.
I
And
literally thought you were about to be like, well, no one knows, but
no, no.
we're announcing this on Phoenix interview.
No, no, everyone knows. Yes, my fiance John and John Scacchetti, he's in the business as well. He did 42nd Street on Broadway and Gypsy on Broadway. We're getting married.
That's amazing. And so some
Yeah.
good news to look forward to when you get married in 2023. But also
Yes.
I'm curious as an artist. I mean, do you see yourself just remaining open to whatever comes your way, whether it is, the actor, singer, dancer route and choreographer? Are you kind of spinning all plates and just kind of seeing what comes?
Yeah, I'm kind of just really open to anything. I don't know if I mentioned this. I'm in my second year of grad school. I'm getting a master's degree in clinical mental health counseling because I
Oh,
have this goal to try to set up direct access for entertainers and theater workers to mental health services, because we were really traumatized, is the word I'll say, from all
yes.
this.
Yes.
And there has been no, like, we kind of just went back. There was no recovery. And I know I have a lot of friends who are like, I need to talk to somebody who understands what happens in theater, and my therapist doesn't know what that is.
That's
So
right.
yeah, so I finished that this summer, which is awesome.
Congratulations.
So there's that hat, but also like I started teaching for the first time this year. I'm teaching tap. I'm still auditioning. I had a voiceover agent, so I was trying to get into voiceover. I had a couple of TV auditions. Like, it's kind of just, I'm like,
You're
where
a
are we gonna
Renaissance
go? Where are we
woman,
gonna be?
but what I love, Emily, about what you're doing with the whole mental health aspect is something that I've actually talked to the CEOs of Phoenix about, and what they're going to be doing in this next round of what do they call in the tech world, updates to the app. They want to
Mhm.
actually build within the app a mental health tab for artists by artists. And so that's something I would love to talk with you more offline about, because the CEOs were saying exactly the same thing when I was having a discussion with them last month. This whole notion that you need almost an artist that's been in the trenches, like you kind of were talking about with Andy. He knows
Mhm,
what it's like to be a performer with life or death stakes, schlepping his dance bag and not being seen. You
mhm,
know what it's like to be on the stage. You know what it's like to be as a choreographer. Plus, returning from this trauma, any trauma for that matter, to have someone like you in the world who knows what it's like to be in the trenches and have to negotiate being on with
mhm.
also protecting your own worth and being. I'm that's absolutely incredible and actually really inspiring.
Thank you. Yeah. I'm excited. I'm
That's just
excited.
me on my
And
soapbox
it's
talking
also
about you.
just like all of the stuff that I'm reading about too in class. I just like I'm making all these notes. Probably gonna write a book because there's just so many connections. I
You
think
should.
like one line I read today because I'm taking career counseling was like, your career does not equal self worth.
There it is. There it is. I mean, M, let's talk about it. I don't know why I keep calling you M. I feel like you're my best friend. And you're like, Will, no one calls me M. Um, I love the fact that you have taken this time, like many, but you have taken this time to almost like investigate, forget the business, why you do what you do, in
Hmm.
that you went after, got this master's, and are just keeping all these plates spinning, not only for yourself, but just because of the fact that you have these talents to share with people. I think it's so beautiful.
Thank you.
Well, listen, Emily, I'm so grateful that you took the time out to speak with me today. And I'm also really grateful that we're connected now. I can't wait to collab with you. I
Yeah,
mean, with anything, but as director, choreographer, I mean, I would love to create something with you one day. Let's manifest that.
I'll put it on my vision board.
I have one too.
Wait, can I tell you though? And maybe, I mean, this is part of the interview too, but
Part
I
of the
made
interview.
a vision board for the first time last
Go.
year.
Yeah,
And I want to say like 85% of it I've accomplished.
correct.
So if anyone's out there and they don't believe in it, it works. Put it on your desktop, put it on your phone, put it on your journal, put it, you see it every day. It, you know, your goals will happen. The
I
goals will happen.
agree. I agree 5,000%. And people can say it's woo-woo and whatnot, but you have to really think about it. You're actually putting that deliberate intention out into the universe and
Yep.
also renegotiating and reacclimating the vibrations to just focus you in on. And that's also that's all you want to see now. People,
Mm-hmm.
I get you, Emily. Well, listen, I'm so excited that we're now connected and all that you have going on. And happy holidays.
You too.